Hello everyone, it's Andrew from GemTCG here, and in today's video I'll be showing you guys how to set up store categories for your eBay store, as well as talk about the benefits for them, kind of like the logic on how to create them, and why I think everyone that has a store on eBay should have categories. And if you don't have a storefront, why you should get the storefront to get these categories, because I think it's very helpful and it allows customers to be able to quickly search through your store so that way you can get more sales at a time, and people buying from like similar categories will be able to find their cards quicker, which will then lead to them buying more cards at once. And also, if you're new here, I do have a Patreon where I can help you set up and start your eBay and TCG player stores, as well as sell collections and sealed product at a discount. But let's get on to the video and I'll show you guys my eBay dashboard. So when you go to the eBay seller dashboard, when you have a storefront, this is what it looks like. I know if you don't have a store, it's a little bit different. So having a store just makes it like a lot better. And ignore this freaking, I don't know what this is, this bad feedback. But if you go to the store section right here, first of all, if you don't have it, you can go to manage subscription. And right now I am paying for the $60 a month subscription. But if you're just starting off, you should do this like starter one, or even the basic, which is $22 a month if you pay for the entire year. And what you get with it is like these listings, so you can list more cards. The fees are usually the same except for this. Going to basic, it's 2.5 to 15.3%. I don't know what sells at 2.5% fees, but it's nothing that we would be a part of if we're selling cards. And I'm trying to see the thing where it shows like categories, but I guess it doesn't show it here. But anyways, first you'll have to set up a store. So choose one of these options, whichever one fits your needs the best. And then once you get that set up, you can go to edit store. And let me just show you guys my store really quick and what I'm talking about. So when you have a store, you can set up all these categories, and I have like this popular tab, newly listed, like a little section here, and then they can see all the items. And why it's helpful is because like right here, there's featured categories. Let's say someone wants to buy vintage cards, or they want to buy modern cards, or vintage Japanese. They could just click on it, and then they'll see all of the, like right now we're in the vintage Pokemon pick your card category, and they can see all of them. So I see like base set 2, choose your card. Neo Revelation, choose your card. And let's say someone is only focused on this part of the like Pokemon hobby, they can find all the cards that they want. It's all readily available, and it just makes it a whole lot easier. And then even here, they can go to the categories, and they'll see all these categories set up. So like let's say they want Pokemon English singles, and they want to buy, let's say, Sun and Moon singles. Then it shows them all the Sun and Moon era cards, all readily available, and they can just quickly look through what they want and then buy it that way. So the way that I have mine set up is like the different eras. So like English singles split up into XY era, Scarlet Violet, Sun and Moon. Japanese, I have them on their own. I also have like Dragon Ball Super where I separate it by category. So like let's say someone wanted a bunch of Goku cards. They'll see all these Gokus, and it's just very simple. If they want to go through the pick your card listings, they could see them all here. If they want Pokemon card lots, all of them are here. And it's just, I think it's like one of the best things to have in your store. For one, the buyer's purpose, and then for two is the seller's purpose. And I will show you guys what I mean after I show you how to set up the actual categories, because there's a lot of features that like it just helps you to have them separated into categories when it comes to like making listings and then editing them as well. So when you go to your store, like the back end part, you can choose which categories you want to be featured, and then you can make whichever like cover you want. I use Canva to do all these. It's really easy and it's free, so definitely use that one or whatever one you're like familiar with or comfortable with using. And then you could set up featured items, popular items that I showed. And then, so that's that. Like that's how the storefront part is. But I'll show you guys how to make an actual like good looking storefront in another video. But let's head on over to this page right here, store categories. And right here it says like you can add 300 categories in total. And then what you'll want to do is go to add store categories. So like let's say you have a bunch of cards from 151 and you want to make it like very specific categories. You could do 151 cards. I wouldn't recommend doing this. I would recommend doing something like more specific or more broad, like Scarlet Violet era, Sun and Moon era, because then you could have like a bigger net, and you can also add subcategories too if you want to do if you want to make it like a specific set. So let's say I'm doing, let's just for the example do Scarlet Violet English cards. Okay. And then you'll just do save, and that will just add the category. So right here, I'm not going to add any items to it because it'll throw off my store. I don't want to like risk messing things up. But once you get the category set up, you can add subcategories. So then you can go in here and say like 151, uh, surging sparks, like stuff like that. You could just add a bunch of them. And then when you get that added, you can add cards to it. Like you can't do it initially when you first make the category, but when you're making new listings, you can then change it to that category. So then I'll show you guys how to do that. So let's say you're making a brand new listing. This is something I listed the other day, but you go to this sell now. And then once it loads, you go to right here where it says store category. You're going to want to click on it and then go to that new category that you added, which is Scarlet Violet English cards. Let's say it's the 151 set. You can click this and then it'll be added right here. And then once you get everything set up for your listing, you can just click list or save for later. I'm going to get rid of that one, but that's how you do it if you're making a brand new listing. And let's say you have a bunch of listings that you want to transfer over, because if you're, I'm assuming you'll already have listings set up if you're making categories. So what you'll do there is go to this active page where, like with all of your active listings, and then it takes a while to load, but once you get there, just click like, I'll just select a few just for an example. So like click all of these, like all the ones that you'll want to move to that new category. And then you'll get to this bulk managing page, which is super helpful and it saves a lot of time when you're listing stuff and editing stuff. I think utilizing this will make everything a whole lot easier for your store. I don't know why it's taken so long, but sometimes there are issues. So let's say I wanted to add all these to the 151 category that we just added. You'll go to this bulk edit thing and it'll show a bunch of things that you could change. And see this category, click on that. And you don't want to change this item category unless it's like incorrect or something, but usually it is like properly set up. And then you'll want to go here where it says store category, and you could do change to for the primary. And then you add it to, actually, let's just search it, Scarlet Violet 151 cards. Then you click apply. I'm not going to apply it because I don't want to risk messing anything up. And also, let's say you have even more specific categories. So like let's say you have Pikachu, like an entire Pikachu category. You can make a secondary category and then do that. So like let's say you want to have all characters have their own category, which I wouldn't recommend because it's like that would be way too many categories, but you can also add a second one so that if someone's searching through, let's say like the 151 section, and then they also want to see, or like I also want them to see this pick your card Scarlet Violet era section. I could do that too. And I actually will be doing that for my modern, like all of my pick your card and then singles sections, because they are technically the same thing, but it's just in a different format. So that's one way that I'm actually going to do that. And then once you get all those changed, click the save button and have it apply. Sometimes it does take a little bit of time to like actually transfer over, especially if you have a lot of listings. But once you wait like probably like no more than an hour, and then it'll show up. And then once you finish with that, you could just confirm and then go to like modern Pokemon, pick your card, and then you'll see all the listings that you have. And another good thing that you could do with the categories is have it like set by rarity, because right now I have it set by the era. You could do set, you could do rarity, you could do whichever thing that you think works best for your store. But like let's look at this one that I did, which was the V singles. So I have an entire category set up for them. And like let's say someone just wanted to buy a bunch of V cards. They could go to my store and then see all of these cards from there. And it's just super easy for them. I've had many instances where people would buy like 20 plus V cards at a time, 20 plus XY singles at a time. So having these categories is definitely crucial to getting like multi card sales. Similar to what I showed you guys before with the pick your card listings, because allowing the buyer to like select cards at once and do it in a quick manner and like make it easier for them, it's very helpful, and it will lead to like getting more sales and bigger sales too. So the key to being a good storefront owner is making it easy for the buyer to like buy from you. Don't make it complicated and have them have to, you know, search up every single card that they want and look through your pictures because it's like blurry or anything like that. As long as you make it super easy for them to just look for what they want, see it all there, and then add it to cart like one by one, it's a lot easier that way, and it will lead to a ton more sales. And next up is what I will show you guys on what I was talking about with the features that come along with having categories set up and why I think it's very important to do so. The first one I will show you guys is the advertising feature. And this is very helpful because you can set up campaigns directly for specific categories. So let's say you had a bunch of vintage cards and you wanted to promote them heavily, or modern cards, since there's so much supply on the market and you want to promote them so that you get sales. You can change your marketing campaigns to configure to those categories. So let's say you wanted to do like the modern cards that I was talking about. It's not showing for me because I have all of my categories set up in campaigns already, but you would go to that campaign page that I just showed you guys, and then go to this category, and it will show a thing here for like store categories. And you just add it instead of having eBay categories, because eBay categories are very broad, and like all Pokemon or like trading card singles are under one category. So this helps you narrow it down and be more specific with your campaigns. And then it'll show all the listings here. You add them all and then click create new rule. And I'll show you guys what it looks like so you see my actual campaigns. So if I just go to this one, like right here, Japanese Pokemon, and all the Japanese singles that I have are on this. So like all these right here. It's kind of hard to see. I'm trying to show you guys the pictures, but it's a little bit hard to see. And so that's one of the big benefits with having them, is the campaigns that you could set up. And then the other one, apart from what I showed you guys earlier with the bulk editing tool and like setting all the categories up, is when you're updating inventory, let's say you get a big stack of 151 cards or like Scarlet Violet era cards, and you want to update them all at once, and instead of just like typing in each card and then adding them like that, because that is a very slow process, you can just go to the listings page, click on all filters, category, store categories, and then you'll just pick whichever one you want. So like let's go with Pokemon English singles, Sun and Moon singles, and then have that load. And then once you get here, click edit and then edit all 207 listings. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I will show you guys how much quicker this is. So then once you get it all here, I like to just scroll down and get everything loaded, because I'll show you guys. Let's say I'm holding like a Ninetales card and I want to update it. Search Ninetales and then it'll show the one that I have. I can just type in one and then it loads and I can continue doing that. I don't have to wait for it to load before I can make any more changes. So that's very quick. You could also change the price in the same way. You could change the shipping settings or the condition, whatever. And so that's how that looks on there compared to if you're going on this one. I'll show you guys. Like, let's say I wanted to make this 40. I have to wait for this to load before I can update anything else. And it's just a lot slower. It's a lot quicker to do it on that tab that I just showed you. But that's kind of like an off-topic part. The main thing is that you can filter it based on the store categories that you have. So what I want you guys to take away from this video is that set up your store categories and set it up in a way that benefits your store the most and fits with your store the most. Let's say you're selling PSA cards or graded cards. You can have a category for PSA, category for all 10s, all 9s, all 8s, whatever. Or if you're selling raw cards, you can have a category for near mint, moderately played, damaged, anything. So definitely get your store set up, get your category set up, and do it in a way that works best for you so that you can get bigger sales too. But that's about it for this video. I hope you guys found the category part helpful, and let me know how it goes when you get these set up. Hopefully it brings you more sales and more larger sales. And I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I will see you all in the next video.